Welcome back to the Alpha Gaming channel. My name is Harris Heller. I am your stream doctor, and today I made something for you. Two of the most common requests I get in the Discord are, can you design like an overlay or an alert for me? And how do you do that custom CSS to make your text animate all cool in your alerts? And while it's super flattering that you like my stuff so much you want me to make stuff for you, I just, like, if I did custom overlays and alerts for everyone that asked, like, that's all I do. I wouldn't have time for anything else. I'd make a couple $100 a week and I wouldn't have time to make videos or stream or anything else, and this channel would die. But I do like making custom alerts and overlays when I have an idea that I'm kind of passionate about. And I did that this week. I made two custom FORTNITE alerts just for you. We got a classic llama exploding. This guy. And my personal favorite is the rocket ride alert. These were a lot of fun to make. I made them live streaming on this channel actually, so if you missed that live stream, make sure you turn on the notifications, and I always stream whenever I'm designing stuff, so if you want to see how I make these, well, yeah, there you go. So today in this video, I'm gonna teach you the easy way to install these, which is like 3 clicks, and of course the more difficult way, which is like the manual way to do it in case you wanna, use my follow alerts for subscriber alerts, or if you want to use the subscriber alerts for a host alert or whatever. But before we jump into it, I just want to remind you, make sure you subscribe to the channel and also go and follow me on Twitch. I actually released these a couple days ago, specifically to my followers on Twitch. The ones who support and make this actually possible, I want to make sure that they get all the stuff early. So whenever I make anything like this, sometimes I'll release stuff that I just don't release on Stream Doctor. I'll always release it to my followers on Twitch. So follow me on Twitch, jump in the streams, come say hi, hang out. Let's move on. So the easy way to install these is gonna do it right through Muxy. I use Muxy because it gives me a little extra control with being able to do multiple alert packages that you can set in as separate browser sources. Also, the CSS and HTML custom code editor is probably the most intuitive out of all the platforms. I've had a lot of problems adjusting Streamlabs and StreamElements CSS. Muxy is pretty straightforward. I'm gonna show you some of that today. So if you want the Llama Explode follow alert and you want the Rocket Ride subscriber alert, there are 3 steps and you're done. Step 1, click the links in the description below. It'll take you right to the Muxy site where it'll ask something like, do you want to install this alert on your own profile? You say yes. If you're already signed into Muxy, it'll just throw it on there. If you're not, it'll ask you if you want to sign in with your Twitch account. You say yes, and it'll throw it on there. Easy as that. You already have my alerts on your profile. Step 2, copy the URL from said Muxy website and paste it into a browser source in OBS. Make sure that your width and height match the width and height of the alert in Muxy itself. In order to see that, you will have to click on the edit button in that alert package. It'll show you right there. Step 3, and this one I actually feel kind of bad for because I forgot to mention this in the last alert video, and I had a lot of people saying, hey, how come my alerts aren't working? You do need to make sure you download the Muxy ticker. It'll be right on the left side of Muxy's website. Download it, have it running in the background of your stream. After that point, all of your alerts should work just fine. And that's the easy way, and it literally takes a couple seconds. I did it on stream on Wednesday when I was installing them for the Twitch fam to actually see them, and it took me like 5 minutes. Now, if you do want to use something like Streamlabs or StreamElements, or maybe you want to use my subscriber alert for your follower alert, you're able to do that also. In the Alpha Gaming Discord, there are going to be download links. It's in the overlays and animations text channel. You'll see it on the left side. There are links for the animations and the audio, which you are free to download and upload to your platform of choice. The difficult part of this is you're not gonna get the same text animations that I used in mine. For example, you'll notice in the Llama Explode alert, the text is actually behind the animation, not in front of it. That's actually something that took me like an hour to figure out. Turns out it was deleting a single character from the code. Whatever, I'm just glad I found it. And the bottom line is, I can't teach you how to code in CSS. I'm not even that great at it. I just did a bunch of Googling before making my alerts, and I've gotten pretty good at it over time. So instead, I'm gonna teach you one simple CSS trick, which is the majority of how my alerts work. And when I say simple, I mean like kinda simple. Anyway, let's get started. In any of these editors, whether it's Streamlabs, StreamElements, or Muxy, if you go to the advanced CSS editor, you will see an extra HTML tab and an extra CSS tab. All the work you're gonna be doing is in the CSS tag. One of the first things I would recommend if you're ever going to do some advanced work on any of these alerts, do all the work in the simple editor as much as you can before even turning on advanced. The reason for that is when you're in the simple editor and you make changes, it adjusts the advanced code for you on the back end. But if you turn on the advanced editor and have access to that code, and make changes to something else, it expects you to go in and then adjust the code for that. So do the simple stuff, then turn on advanced. I've made that mistake before. Some of the guys in my Discord have made that mistake before. Do the simple and then turn on advanced. There, I've said it enough times that if you do it wrong, it's your fault. So let me try to explain how these text animations work. Essentially, this type of animating is called keyframing. For example, you say, I want to create an animation that spans about 2 seconds. At the beginning of this animation, I want the text to be so small you can't see it. At the very end of this animation, I want the text to be the full size. You say, at 0% of this animation, the text size is 0 pixels. At 100%, meaning the end of the animation, the text size is 48 pixels, whatever you choose. How keyframing works is the CSS code figures out that if you want it to be this small at the beginning and this large 2 seconds later, throughout the course of those 2 seconds, it knows how large the text should be every step of the way. You set a keyframe here, a keyframe here, it figures out the middle. You can do the same thing with opacity as well. Opacity meaning how see-through something is. For example, if you want text to fade out, you say at 0% of the animation, you set the opacity to 1, meaning fully opaque or totally seeable, not see-through at all. That's opacity 1. Then at 100% or the end of the animation, you set the opacity to 0, meaning fully transparent, it's completely faded out. And that's how you do a fade out in CSS. So let's get this rocket ride text growth animation for you, okay? My code on Muxy is gonna be a little different. I had it a little more advanced. I wanted to do a fade out at the end and a text growth thing. So we're just gonna focus on getting your text to pop in when that guy rides across the screen. Cool? That entire animation is only about a half of a second. So let's start making that animation. You're gonna start at the very top of the CSS code creating the animation. You're gonna need to write at keyframes, put a space, and then the name of the animation, followed by a curly brace. And you're gonna put the entire animation within these curly braces. In there, you'll write 0% space curly brace, indicating that what you write within these curly braces is how the animation starts. In there, you'll write font-size, 0 pixels with a semicolon at the end. Close it up with the curly brace. So now the code knows that this is the settings for the beginning of the animation. And now in order to get that pop animation, we want the text to grow larger than the end goal. And we're gonna set that at halfway through the animation. So let's start on the next one. Type 50% space curly brace. Within these curly braces, you'll write the same font-size, but now you're gonna write 72 pixels. End it with the semicolon and close the curly brace. So we got the beginning now, we got the middle, now we just need the end. And you can probably figure out what to do at this point. Type 100% space curly brace, font-size, 48 pixels, semicolon, end curly brace. Now I'm gonna give you a couple details in coding because if you miss one of these things, everything's broken. Every beginning curly brace needs to have an end curly brace. So that last 100% curly brace beginning and end shouldn't be your last one. Because remember, we have that initial starting curly brace at the end of the name of the animation. You need to make sure there's another end curly brace at the very bottom. The code editor should let you know if there's a problem, by the way. Just go through and check, make sure every bit of code ends in a semicolon, and make sure every starting curly brace has an ending curly brace as well. Okay, we've got our animation, now we just need to apply it. And this is gonna take 2 steps. First off, make sure that the base text size for your text is 0 pixels. If the text starts off at 48 pixels, it's gonna be at 48 pixels before the pop in. It's gonna look weird. Make sure the font is set to 0 pixels. Now we go down in the CSS and look for the text container. You can see the start curly brace and the end curly brace. We're gonna place this inside those curly braces. So go to the very last line of the code, hit enter, and create a new line in there. First thing you're gonna need to let the code know is that you are playing an animation over this text. So you'll write animation, the name of your animation, space, then the duration of this animation, which is going to be 0.5s for seconds, then a semicolon. Go down to the next line. Next, because we don't want this animation to happen the moment the alert starts, we need to set an animation delay. So you'll type animation-delay, this you'll want to start about 1.5 seconds in and put a semicolon. The last thing that we need, if you remember the step before this, we changed our default text size to 0 pixels. So as of right now, once the animation stops, text goes back to 0 pixels. You need to write animation-fill-mode : This just means that at the end of the animation, it takes the very last keyframe and it maintains those settings for the rest of the alert. So your font will stay at 48 pixels throughout the duration of the rocket ride. And there you go. That's it. This is probably the most complicated tutorial I'm going to do on this channel. This whole channel is the purpose of teaching beginners, but this was something that is not on YouTube right now. And it's one of my favorite things I've learned to do. I wanted to make sure that I shared it for those of you that are a little more ambitious and want to learn to do it yourself. This will be a start for you. Once you kind of get the hang of this, you can go off and just search CSS text animations and find slews and slews of animations that you can use in the exact same way. And of course, for those of you that have no desire to learn any of this, once again, links to just download and install in Muxy right in the description. Please use those. Don't destroy yourself over a stupid little animation. Just enjoy. But anyway, this has been a simple and probably obnoxiously difficult tutorial from the Alpha Gaming channel. I hope it helped. If you used this tutorial and put these alerts on your stream, please clip them happening on your stream. There's a text channel in the Alpha Gaming Discord called SD Clips. I'd love to put your clips at the end of these videos showing off some of the streamers that are doing their best to make their channel look a little more professional, and of course give you guys a little bit of a shout out in the process. Make sure you subscribe for more tips in the future. Hit the like button if this helped you out, and of course tune in to our Thursday podcast that Andy and I do. There's always something interesting to talk about there. And of course, please join the Twitch fam. Jump into my Twitch stream. I'd love to see you there. But until then, I hope this helps. And of course, happy streaming.
Oh, he stopped. He stopped.
Dude, that was so dope.